Everybody these days is talking about scaling, but nobody's actually talking about the one thing that you need to adopt in order to scale. And I'm going to talk about that here in this video. There's a million different ways to win in business, but there's only one way to actually grow and scale your business. And it all is up to you adopting focus and discipline. And I know this sounds woo-woo, but let me break it down for you real quick. So when it comes to this, and what I mean in discipline and focus is, imagine you have this meter, right? This bar of resources, this bar of energy. And in this bar of energy, say it's filled all the way up. And over time, let's say, for example, you're testing an offer, right? So now you have offer number one over here, and offer number one has its own bar, its own meter. Then you say, okay, I'm going to pour some of my energy into this bar over here, and I'm going to see if I can get this offer to grow. Then you say, oh wait, this offer isn't really working for me. Let me go start another offer right here, and I'm going to pour some energy into that and see if I can get that one to grow. And so your ultimate bar of energy is starting to go down and get diversified into all of these different categories, these different offers here. Before you know it, you have all these different offers running, but your attention, your meter for all of these is never all the way filled up. This is the problem with most e-commerce brands that I talk to today. The discipline, the focus is out the window. They're too small and they're trying to do 7 different channels, 7 different offers, and all of this kind of stuff, when in reality, all they need to do is pour all of their attention into one individual offer. When you could pour all of your attention into one individual offer for a long period of time, that's where scale and success happens. Too many founders jump into an offer and kill it after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, before they actually gave it the attention it needs in order to scale. Like I mentioned in the beginning, there's a million different ways to win, but there's only one habit, one thing that you need to adopt to make sure that you actually win, and that's focus and discipline. Let me break this down even further, and I'm going to go into e-commerce technical terms here, right? So when I'll give you a real world example. So we bought this brand. It's called IBD Assist. We bought it back in February 2025. And so this brand here, when we bought it, approximately doing about $500K a year. Awesome. It's a solid little e-commerce supplement brand. We wanted to acquire it, grow it, etc., since I have a good amount of knowledge in that space, right? The problem with it was, it didn't have any kind of solid offer or structure. So the very first thing that we did is that we built one offer, or we tested until we found one offer that was actually worth pouring some time and attention into it. Okay? This is exactly what happened. So we got this one offer, and we started to scale it. And we went from 3,000 MRR to about 25,000 MRR, so subscription revenue. It was primarily a subscription offer, and we started to scale it. All of a sudden, what I forgot to mention, when we bought this brand, is that they were also on Amazon and Amazon FBA and FBM and all of that. Now we have to worry about the second channel over here, which is Amazon, and making sure that we have enough inventory to make sure that we can continue to fulfill Amazon orders. Now the problem with this is because this offer that we started to run and scale and start to bring in a lot of revenue, now we have to split our attention and split our resources into making sure that we purchase inventory to not only be able to fulfill this offer, but to be able to fulfill Amazon as well. Because if you're on Amazon, you know this. If you screw up on Amazon, they do not like you. So it's not really an option. So we had to split our focus in between these two offers, when if there's nothing we could really do about it in this case, but if the brand was never on Amazon to begin with, we could continue pouring into this offer here and scaling it up and scaling it up and scaling it up and start to build a good platform for that offer. That way we can build on top of it. Because without that platform, imagine your foundation is kind of looking like this. You've got all these gaps in your foundation. And what you're trying to balance is making sure that you can pour into each one at a time. Look at how split my focus is. But if I had just one foundation with that one offer and I didn't have Amazon at all, and all I was focused on was my one offer that I was trying to build, now I can slowly stack on top of this one. All right, let's start building on Amazon. Let's start to stack that up and make sure that we have the proper resources to grow that. Okay, that's established. We got that to a good scale. Let's go open up TikTok Shop. All right, that one's good. Let's keep on stacking. Let's go run, I don't know, Snapchat ads now. Now that we're established on Meta and Google, etc., right? That way you can keep stacking up and you're not diversifying your focus in between multiple kind of platforms. Another great way to think about this isn't my idea, I forget where this comes from actually. Do this exercise for me real quick. Count from 1 to 26. And you can pause this video. I can tell you it's going to take you approximately 8 or 9 seconds, and then do it and then unpause. Now, say the alphabet out loud, A to Z. It's going to be about the same thing. Pause this video, go ahead and do it. But now, alternate 1A, 2B, 3C. What the problem is you can even do this in writing too, so I can show you how much faster I am able to write everything down than say it back and forth, right? So now when we try and alternate, it's a little bit more challenging. Oops, see, look, I just put D up there, probably because I'm talking as well, but it's more challenging to try and alternate between the two. We can't multitask, and the same thing applies in business. If you're trying to run too many different offers or explore too many different channels, you never give yourself the chance to actually pour into the one offer that is going to scale your business. The best thing that I ever did, and I didn't realize it at the time, was spending 2.5 years trying to dial in one singular offer. That one singular offer ended up scaling our business to over $50 million in less than 4 years. 2.5 years of that was just figuring out and dialing in that offer. That is the absolute best thing that you can do. If you have an offer, you need to go obsess over your sales page and that conversion rate to the checkout, then that conversion rate to the, let's say, the order bump here. What is the conversion on your order bump? And then what is the conversion rate on upsell 1? And then you need to go obsess over downsell 1. And then you need to go obsess over upsell 2. Then you need to go obsess over, do I add a third upsell to this thing? And if I can get that to dial in, then you need to go obsess over, all right, the thank you page, the button on that thing to get somebody to go subscribe to the YouTube channel or go follow me on Instagram or whatever it is. You need to obsess over that stuff. And it's not just that. All of these elements, right? When you get somebody here, what happens when they don't check out? You send them through an abandoned cart flow and you try and get them back to the checkout. If you're trying to do this with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different offers, or imagine this in channels, you are a master of none, and it is going to be virtually impossible for you to actually scale. You need to focus in on just one thing, and I promise you, that is going to be the thing that allows you to actually scale your business. Look, I get it. It's easier said than done. I'm a byproduct of shiny object syndrome. Most entrepreneurs are. We like to go explore different things. It's actually painful to stay in one thing for so long, but that is the edge in this game. The person that can actually spend enough time in one thing long enough in order to get it to work is the person that's going to win, because everybody else over here is trying to do too many different things and jumping from one thing to the next thing and to the next thing, and they're never getting any traction to actually break through a barrier to where they can actually scale. So if you're out there watching this right now and you're like, man, okay, I understand, but I got too many things going on. How do I try and get it all back into one? I'm right there with you. A lot of times in entrepreneurship and building a business, what you're doing is testing a lot of different things, trying to find that one thing that's actually going to work. And now you just need to check yourself at the moment. What can you cut out without totally ripping the rug out from under your business? Don't do that. That's stupid. Figure out what you can cut out without ripping out the rug, and then figure out how to get all these little pieces aligned in one direction so that you don't screw things up that you have going, but that you're not diverting your focus, and you can focus in on one particular area. Focus on developing that one habit, focus and discipline. Go all in on one thing, and I promise you, if you give it the time and attention you need to give it, it needs to grow, then you will actually start to scale your business if you're stuck at a plateau right now.